I'm getting a bit cold. I'm going to bring the heater in and have a think about this framing here. That I'm not worried about. It's going to be hitting my cupboards anyway. I just need to keep that angle consistent. Because I'm going to be using this as a brace for all my furniture and the bed, I'm not going to skin that bit. I'm just going to go up to it. And then I'll insulate and skin separately the bottom. 10 identical pieces. There's 10 that are all pretty much the same. Again, this is another job where I could do with a few more hands. Okay, that's not going to work. It's clamping time. I'm using washers left over from earlier's hole plugging escapade, and I'm just using that to keep that a couple of millimeters space between the metal and the wood. Don't want that cold bridge there. Following the angle of the metal gives me a consistent run all the way along. Should be easy enough then to fit the cabinets to it. Nice little consistent gap there. I think maybe I need a day off. Two. 8 more. Ah! Four. This one here is a bit of a challenge. I've got these ones in. I've scribed the shape that I'm going to be cutting out. If you're thinking of doing something similar, just tuck it in tight where you want it, or as near as you can go, and then use the edge of the pencil and just run it down the edge, the problem edge. And if you keep the pencil flat to there, it will, oh, you can't even see because I've got this piece of wood in the way, but that's what you do. You follow it down and then you draw rather badly a line, and you can just sort of straighten that up. I've got this piece of guide wood here so that I can keep it as close to the others as I can. I'll put another piece of wood underneath it. I'm going to cut this one. I did the same with the other side. That only needed a tiny bit cut off. When I come to do this angle above the door, I'm going to simply just follow that line. Somewhere here, this angle will change, and it'll be hidden behind cabinets. That one there, I'm not going to do. I'm just not going to do it. That's a complicated corner. I think once I get the wall on, I'll figure out how I'm going to do that. Maybe I'll just stick like shit the ply to something. It is now night time. I don't even know what time it is now. So I finished those angular parts. Once I'm 100% happy that this is going to be as it is, I'm going to just squirt a little bit of sealant behind there. I've had to scribe around the angles of the metal work, but that is the same angle as everything else. This one here I've left out simply because this is quite a complex thing. I don't think there'll be any wood left once I start cutting around that. I think that's an angle that I'm going to have to figure out once I'm skinning it. This bit here I come up with something ingenious because I was working from this angle here, so I'm going to skin from here down onto this. This one here at the front, it's screwed at the top and it's stuck to the side of the van there. One was scribed around and that's just floating free, and this one, there was so little wood that I stuck it on, but that ain't going anywhere. That's solid. I'm not going to have any lighting in the ceiling because the ceiling is quite low anyway. It's just going to be something for me to snag my head on, so it's going to be uplit. But this van is in a real mess. Pack away tools, and then I need that tool, so I take that tool out, and then the tool goes just on a big pile. I've got a big pile of tools. So the sooner I get cracking, the sooner I get to go home. I've started running cables for the electrics. Once the ceiling's on, that's it really. Wiring for a single 12 volt socket here, or probably USBs. This is where my electrics will be. Chunky conduit there, up here to this point here where it branches off, and I've got more conduit. The reason for using the short pieces of conduit is to just get me around the sort of sharper edges. I don't want that cable wearing out. Running through the ceiling joists, again through some conduit all the way down to there. Chocolate block connector going across to the max fan. I'm adding some additional framing around the max fan so that I can screw on the flange and strengthen the ceiling around the max fan as well. Let's see how that flange fits. Just about, with the thickness of the ceiling as well, it just about covers the inside. Yeah, I mentioned this before. It's very, very flimsy. The electric screwdriver's at work. So I'm using a drill on slow. This won't go wrong at all. That was surprisingly okay. The extension lead is running from the house. Well, it's running from 2 extension leads from the house. This is as close as I can park and still work on the van. The people from Max Fan kindly included 4 white-headed screws, which by the time I've put them in might not have much of a white head on them. I think I'll put more attractive screws in than this. They're painted white, but they are just still a couple of posy head screws. Yeah, so nasty and plasticky. Is a horizontal rib still a rib, or shall I call it something else? I'm going to call it a horizontal rib. The ones at the back are slightly higher than that one at the front. I used the same mounting holes on the front horizontal rib as I did at the back, but they're not level. The little M6 or M5 ones are just a little higher. That's how I'm going to overlap this centre strut. I'm just making up names now. Strut. This is a strut. This seemed like a good solution for bridging this gap here. Once the 1/4 inch ply is behind, no cold bridge. 50mm wide wood. It says measurements are approximate. I ain't kidding. It ain't 50mm. Much easier working in the workshop because I can do all my cuts outside. I don't have to have a bench inside the van. This is ridiculous. Okay, so I haven't bolted it in because these are coach bolts and I've got nothing to grip onto here. But yeah, holes line up. The important thing is that the hole at the back is in the right place. The hole at the front, less important. There you go. I'm overlapping the door. Some people overlap it a lot more than that. I'm not going to overlap it any more than that. That's plenty. And once again, I'm avoiding the strut. Okay, let's mark this up, clamp it, drill it, test fit it. That hole's fine. That one's fine. That one's fine. So that's another piece cut. Put that to the side. I might pop to the pound store and just pick up. That's like a dollar store. for those that are watching overseas. And you probably have a rupee store and a euro store. There's got to be an equivalent wherever you go. That's bolted on, and this is an artist's impression of what it will look like with 1/4 inch ply. It will be fixed around this edge here, probably just screwed into the metal. It'll go all the way down to the bottom of this with just notches out for the bolts. I've left enough space here in case I need to add a bit more framing around this back corner. Because this is going to have my bed on it, I might stick in a couple more rib nuts. With what time I've got left today, because I'm going on an epic journey later on today, driving into the night, so I need to wrap up fairly soon and also tidy up this mess. This is the offside support for the worktop and cupboards, and I join it here. These are the 5mm bolts going into the rib nuts, the 5mm rib nuts. So this side is secured with 6 bolts, one 8mm bolt left. I don't have any more washers left. That end is just using the coach bolts that I had left over from something else. Look at the mess. Tools everywhere. I have found and purchased 2 new back doors with standard hinges. The doors are in Pontefract, which is in Yorkshire. As it is, I'm going to visit someone, so I'm going to go and visit someone, pick up my new back doors. Life is good. I really have to step up my work on this van. I know I've taken a week off and I have been kind of working, but I've also been recharging my batteries from not taking any time off this year. Not any proper time off, because the other time off I had doesn't count, because it wasn't really a holiday. Where I'm living now is up for sale. It's going on the market soon, which means I need to be out of there and into here. So that's all I've got. A couple of months to make this livable. In the winter, potentially cold in the UK and not less cold overseas.